The Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. How can you go that long without winning a playoff game and hold on to your job?
What is the absolute worst position to be in? Mediocre, middle of the road. You're not a championship contender and you don't stink enough. They have been a model of mediocrity for over a decade. That's unacceptable.
Aaron Rodgers has 3 fractures, not 1, not 2, but 3 broken bones in his wrist, and he's still out there playing. A 41-year-old, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game, literally breaking his body trying to save the Pittsburgh Steelers season. And on Sunday, he got destroyed. Joey Bosa comes flying in from the blind side. Strip sack, fumble, touchdown Buffalo. Rodgers is flat on his back, blood pouring from his nose, looking like he just got hit by a freight train. The Steelers would lose this game 26-7. They're now 6-6. They've lost 5 of their last 7 games after starting the season 4-1. And here's the thing that no one's talking about, because if you've been paying attention, you've seen this exact same movie before. Same team, different aging quarterback, same exact ending. Actually, you saw it last year. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the Pittsburgh Steelers keep doing this to themselves and why Aaron Rodgers' last ride was doomed before it even started. So real quick before we get to the content, we're still doing a jersey giveaway on this channel. All you have to do to enter is subscribe and turn on our notifications. We're running the same giveaway on my Instagram page. You just have to follow and turn on my notifications there to enter. And real quick, just one more announcement. We just had our most epic weekend of all time, making over $1,000 through my NBA and NFL plays, one of which that I gave on this very YouTube channel. What you want to do is first sign up for Prize Picks using my promo code Mikerophone so you can get $50 when you make a play of $5 or more. Now I give additional plays on my Instagram story, and if you go to the link right below my Prize Picks link, the WAP link in the description down below, we have a Discord server that's been profiting on a daily basis that you could join by clicking that link. And thank you Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? All right, to understand how we got here, we got to go all the way back to June of 2025. The Pittsburgh Steelers do the unthinkable. They sign Aaron Rodgers. Now, think about where Rodgers was at this point. 2 absolutely disastrous years in New York. He tears his Achilles 4 plays into his Jets debut in 2023. He comes back in 2024 and goes 5-12. The Jets release him, and he's done in New York. But this is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about, a 4-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP, over 65,000 career passing yards, 522 touchdowns, the lowest interception rate in NFL history. This is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's not ready to be done yet. So he looks at Pittsburgh and thinks, this is it. This is my last shot. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. They've got a solid defense, and they've got weapons, and most importantly, Rodgers goes on the Pat McAfee show and says this is probably going to be his final year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. You know, that's why we just did a 1-year deal.
This was supposed to be the storybook ending. The legend comes to a blue-collar city, leads one more playoff run, maybe gets back to the Super Bowl, and rides off into the sunset. The contract was perfect too. 1 year, $13.65 million, $10 million guaranteed. Low risk for the Steelers if it doesn't work, but high reward if it does. And for the first month of the season, man, it was working beautifully. But I'm going to tell you right now, there was a specific game where everything changed. A specific moment where this whole thing started falling apart. And when I show you the numbers from that point forward, you're going to see exactly why this season was never going to end the way anyone wanted. We'll get there, but first let me show you how good things looked in the beginning. Week 1, Pittsburgh Steelers versus New York Jets, the revenge game. Rodgers is facing the team that just dumped him, and he doesn't just beat them, he absolutely torches them. 22 of 30 passing, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The Steelers win 34-32 on a 60-yard field goal from Chris Boswell with just over a minute left. That's the longest field goal in Pittsburgh Steelers history. You want to hear the craziest stat? Rodgers became the first player in NFL history to throw 4 touchdown games in back-to-back starts for 2 different teams, because his last start for the Jets was also a 4 touchdown game. In week 3, they go to Ireland to play the Vikings. Rodgers goes 18 for 22, 200 yards, a touchdown, a 119.7 passer rating, his second triple-digit passer rating in 4 weeks. Week 5 against the Browns, the defense dominates and Rodgers plays clean, a 23-9 victory. The Steelers are now 4-1. They've got a comfortable lead in the AFC North. People are calling them legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Hell, they were my favorite to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. Everything is perfect. The narrative is set. Aaron Rodgers is back. The old magic is still there. And then week 7 happened. Remember when I said there was a specific game where everything changed? This is it. And I need you to pay close attention to what I'm about to show you, because from this moment forward, nothing was the same. Thursday night football, Steelers at Bengals. Now, on paper, Rodgers actually played great in this game. 23 of 34 passing, 249 yards, 4 touchdowns. He looked like vintage Rodgers out there, extending plays, dropping dimes, finding his tight ends in the end zone. Even Rich Eisen said that Rodgers looked amazing in this game. But here's what you need to understand. He also threw 2 interceptions, and the defense, they got absolutely shredded by a 40-year-old Joe Flacco. Flacco threw for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had 16 receptions for 161 yards. And probably the most entertaining part of this game, he got into a bit of a skirmish with Jalen Ramsey. But regardless, that's a franchise record for receptions in a single game. The Steelers lost 33-31 on a field goal with 7 games left. And here's the part that nobody's talking about. This game was literally the beginning of the end, because from week 7 forward, Aaron Rodgers' stats started declining, and they haven't stopped declining since. Check this out. In week 7, 249 yards, 7.3 yards per attempt, 103.7 passer rating. In week 8, 219 yards, 6.1 yards per attempt, 101.5 passer rating. Still decent numbers, but in week 9, 203 yards, 5.8 yards per attempt, 95.3 passer rating. In week 10, 161 yards, 5.2 yards per attempt, 50.6 passer rating. You see that every single week. Fewer yards per attempt, lower passer rating. It's like watching a car run out of gas in slow motion. And week 10, that's when everyone had to stop pretending. Sunday night football, Steelers at Chargers. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Rodgers was terrible in this game. Not just bad, but he was awful. 16 of 31 passing, 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, a 51.6% completion percentage. That's his lowest in 5 years. He took a sack in his own end zone for a safety. He overthrew guys. He underthrew guys. He ran out of clean pockets and took unnecessary sacks. The Steelers lost 25-10. They got embarrassed on national television. After the game, somebody asked Mike Tomlin how he would assess Rodgers' performance, and Tomlin just frowned and said,
"How would you?" Next.
That's your head coach basically refusing to defend his quarterback on the podium. Think about that for a second. Rodgers himself admitted after the game that he didn't play very good at all, and he has to play better.
I didn't play very good at all, so I got to play better.
One analyst even said that Rodgers looked 100 years old out there. And this is where we have to ask the question, because it's a very difficult question to ask. Is Aaron Rodgers cooked? Now hold that thought, because what happens next makes everything way worse. Week 11 against the Bengals, it's rematch time. The game's actually going great. The Steelers are up 34-12. They're dominating. Then Aaron Rodgers takes a hit and goes down holding his left wrist. He's done for the day. X-rays at the stadium show a small fracture. Mason Rudolph comes in and finishes the win, but now there's a real problem. The Steelers have a crucial game against the Bears the next week, and their quarterback has a broken wrist. Week 12 against the Bears, a team that Rodgers has a history of dominating, but he can't play. Rudolph starts. The Steelers lose 31-28 to a team that their starting quarterback has a history of dominating, and their record falls to 5-5. But here's where the story gets really crazy. After more tests, it comes out that Rodgers doesn't just have one small fracture. He's got at least 3 fractures in his left wrist, and one of them is apparently a more consequential break that can only happen with significant force. 3 broken bones, and despite all of that, Rodgers says he's playing against the Bills in week 13. And look, this man has a history playing through pain. He's played nearly the entire 2018 season with a tibial fracture. He played his final year in Green Bay with an avulsion fracture in his thumb from week 5 onward. This man doesn't quit, and you gotta respect that. But here's the thing, sometimes wanting it isn't enough. Sometimes your body just can't do what your mind is telling it to do anymore. And on Sunday, we saw exactly what that looks like. On November 30th, 2025, the Steelers face off against the Buffalo Bills. Rodgers starts despite 3 fractures in his wrist. And for the first half, things actually look okay. The Steelers lead 7-3. Jalen Warren punches in a short touchdown run after the defense forces a James Cook fumble. And then the second half started. The very first play after halftime, Rodgers drops back, Joey Bosa comes screaming in from the blind side, he doesn't even see it coming. Strip sack, fumble, Christian Benford picks it up and takes it to the house for a touchdown. Rodgers is on the ground, blood coming from his nose. He looks dazed. The trainers have to help him up. He briefly leaves the game. He actually comes back to play because of course he does, but Mason Rudolph had to come in for a series, and on his second pass, interception. More points for Buffalo. From there, the Bills just dominated. They ran all over the Steelers, 249 rushing yards total. That's the most rushing yards any visiting team has ever had at Acrisure Stadium ever. James Cook had 141 yards on 30 carries. The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, and while this is happening, Josh Allen scores a rushing touchdown that breaks Cam Newton's all-time record for quarterback rushing touchdowns, and the Bills would defeat the Steelers 26-7. Rodgers finished with just 117 passing yards, and here's the part that really hits differently. Same field, same game, and you had two quarterbacks showing you the present and future. Josh Allen is 29 years old, running through defenders, breaking records, looking like the best player in football. Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old, getting knocked around, playing through multiple fractures, watching his last chance at glory slip away. The cruelest part about this entire situation is we're watching Rodgers try to be what he used to be, and he just can't anymore. And here's the thing, this isn't just an Aaron Rodgers story, because if you've been following the Steelers, you'd notice a pattern that I'm about to reveal to you. They did this last year too. Remember at the beginning of the video where I told you that we've seen this movie before? Let me take you back to 2024. The Steelers signed Russell Wilson on a cheap one-year deal. They also have Justin Fields. Wilson gets healthy, takes over as the starter, and for a while, things look great. The Steelers start 10-3. Wilson is playing like the guy everyone remembered from Seattle. People are talking playoffs. People are even talking Super Bowl. Does that sound familiar? And then they collapsed. 5 straight losses to end the regular season. They failed to score more than 17 points during that entire losing streak. That hadn't happened to the Steelers since Chuck Noll's first season in 1969. Wilson wilted down the stretch. He took bad sacks, he made more mistakes, and he couldn't see the field. The Steelers lost in the wildcard round to the Ravens 28-14 and got completely embarrassed. After that season, reports came out that the relationship between Wilson and the Steelers organization was very fractured and too deep to overcome. Multiple reports said that many people in the building wanted to go back to Justin Fields during the collapse, but Tomlin refused to make the switch. Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated said that people would tell you that the Russell Wilson thing undermined so many things in the last month of the season. So what did the Steelers do after that disaster? They were in the perfect position to draft a developmental QB in Shedeur Sanders, but they passed on him multiple times. They didn't learn anything at all. They signed another aging veteran QB on a one-year deal, Aaron Rodgers, and now we're watching the exact same movie play out. Hot start, things look promising, then the veteran quarterback starts breaking down as the season goes on. The team collapses in the second half of the year, and their playoff hopes slip away. In 2024 with Russell Wilson, they had a 10-3 start and then they collapsed. This year with Aaron Rodgers, they had a 4-1 start, and now they're collapsing. This is not a coincidence, guys. This is a pattern. And this goes deeper than just the last 2 years. Since Ben Roethlisberger retired after the 2021 season, the Steelers have been in quarterback purgatory. Here's the list of quarterbacks who have started games for the Steelers since Big Ben left. Mitch Trubisky in 2022, Kenny Pickett in 2022 and 2023, Mason Rudolph popping in and out, Justin Fields in 2024, Russell Wilson in 2024, and now Aaron Rodgers in 2025. That's 6 different starting quarterbacks in 3 years, and none of them have been the answer. The Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. And here's the craziest part. Between 2019 and 2021, when Big Ben was clearly on his last legs and everyone knew retirement was coming, the Steelers did not use a single draft pick on a quarterback. Not in 2019, not in 2020, not in 2021. Not one. They waited until Big Ben retired and then panic-picked Kenny Pickett in the first round of 2022. He struggled for 2 years and then they traded him. Since then, it's been Band-Aid after Band-Aid, veteran after veteran, and every single one of them has failed in the same way. They look good early, then they fall apart when it matters. You want to know why the Steelers keep losing? It's because they refuse to invest in a real long-term solution at the most important position in sports. They keep hoping some aging legend can squeeze out one more good year and save them. It's not working. It hasn't worked. And as long as they keep doing it, it's not gonna work. Which brings me to my initial question. Is Aaron Rodgers cooked? Let's be real about what we're watching here. Like I said, Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. 4 MVPs, Super Bowl MVP, 522 career touchdowns, 65,000 passing yards, the lowest interception rate in NFL history at 1.4%. When he won that Super Bowl in 2010, he threw for 304 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Packers won 31-25 and Rodgers was the Super Bowl MVP. There's no question about it. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But that was then, and this is now. I think everyone's expecting Aaron Rodgers to have his Tom Brady Tampa Bay Buccaneers era, but that's just not the player he is. In his last 4 games, his stats went down every single week. His yards per attempt dropped from 7.3 to 5.2. His passer rating dropped from 103.7 to 50.6. He's not throwing the ball downfield anymore. He's checking down. He's getting rid of it quick because he can't take hits. He's 41 years old. Actually, scratch that. It's his 42nd birthday today, so happy birthday, Aaron Rodgers. But on top of that, he's got 3 fractures in his wrist. He tore his Achilles 2 years ago. His body is breaking down right in front of our eyes. And the worst part, there have been whispers that the Steelers want to bring him back for 2026. The Steelers have 6 games left, and the schedule is brutal. Next week, they play the Baltimore Ravens, a team they absolutely have to beat if they want any shot at the AFC North. They play the Ravens again in week 16, 2 games against their biggest rival with everything on the line. Can Aaron Rodgers, with 3 fractures in his wrist, go into Baltimore and win a game that matters? Can this defense, which just gave up 249 rushing yards at home, suddenly figure out how to stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? Can Mike Tomlin somehow salvage another season and keep his streak of never having a losing record alive? I don't really know, but I do know this. Aaron Rodgers came to Pittsburgh for one last ride, one final chance at glory, a storybook ending to a legendary career, and that ride is falling apart in real time. The injuries are piling up, the stats are declining, the team is losing, and the saddest part is, we've seen this before. Different quarterback, same result. The Pittsburgh Steelers keep betting on aging legends instead of building for the future. They keep hoping that past greatness can overcome present reality. It can't. My bet is that Aaron Rodgers retires after this year. Maybe he limps to the playoffs and loses in the first round. Maybe the season completely falls apart and they miss the postseason entirely. Either way, this isn't the ending that anybody wanted. And next offseason, the Steelers are going to be right back to where they started, looking for a quarterback again. Some lessons take a long time to learn, and for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this one might take forever. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.